We have a busy day this morning. Singing River is now in here, a duo of Mike and Anthony. And you guys go back you guys are playing Lovin Cup?
Yeah, Lovin Cup, March 22nd.
March 22nd.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, because I won't be here for then. That's why we have to do it a week ahead of time.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what it was, yeah. And so thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. And you guys go back to high school playing together, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right out of high school.
94?
Yeah, summer of 94. I was looking for a guitar player.
Uh-huh.
I was looking for a singer.
Was that here in Rochester?
It was here,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And this one singer came down to try out, who's still a friend of ours. Brought him along.
Yeah.
And that guy didn't want to sing. And we already had two guitar players, and so we were like, no, you're singing.
Yeah.
So he was the singer of that band. That was called Native Kin.
Okay.
And
what type of music was that? Was that your first band?
It was our first band, yeah.
And what type of music was it?
It was like 90s alternative, but the main guitar player, the main songwriter, had a really big Neil Young, Grateful Dead influence. So, well, we opened for Mo. Like, we were high school kids opening for Mo in, I don't know,
Wow.
95?
Yeah.
We always call it MoDOT.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The Screaming Cheetah Wheelies also.
Oh, yeah, Screaming Cheetah Wheelies. Yeah, we opened for National. I don't know, Water Street seemed to like us back then. So,
wow. So, and then, then you went to New York at some point.
Yeah, I went to New York a month after 9/11. I moved down to New York.
No kidding.
With $80.
With 80, wow.
And then we got signed to RCA within like 3 months.
With which band was that?
Long Wave.
Long Wave. You had been playing here, or did you start it down there?
That was down there, and then I joined them.
Uh-huh.
They were on the cusp.
Okay.
And then they called me. And
did you know them before that?
Yeah. The lead singer of Long Wave went to high school with us at Arcadia.
Arcadia.
And he was a Native Kin as well.
Okay. Wow.
But he moved down early. He moved to Williamsburg in 98. Mm-hmm. He got there early. Him and I were on we played a riverboat gig in New Orleans with a local cover band from here. And Elvio Fernandez was in that cover band as well.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
And so Steve got the money from that gig. We were opening for Fats Domino I wish I could just chop my head off because I didn't hang out with him, you know. And now, years later, Cosmo Matassa, the guy who made all those records, is one of my favorite producers. No. And I probably easily could have met him back then.
Yeah.
But it's all hindsight. But no, we did that.
Yes. Well, why don't we hear a song and then we can do some backstory on it, everything.
Yeah.
Singing River, the 22nd, right? March 22nd.
March 22nd.
At Lovin Cup.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks. I helped a woman walking by one day, wearing her face that red hole. I said, I can't wait till things get easier, more like before. She said, I hope you understand if it gets better, how we were led into the fire. The dangle strings and promise it's getting brighter, but I've known angels who were liars. And there on the left, over on the right, in the middle of the distance is where the power has its eye. I miss the days before push came to shove. I miss everyday love. Do you know the man drawing lines on your maps? Do you know your price? There's lines for doctors, bugs in our beds, They roll our lives like dice. If the few wanted more, guess who paid the price? They'll thrill you to make a fortune, then they'll buy your rights. I miss the days before push came to shove. I miss everyday love. If you're at the edge, put in a frame of forgiveness. You know that will can give away. Life is the incident we all witness, and the dragon in the way. And just over the other side, compassion waits to play. What are the things going through your head, boy? What can you add that hasn't been said? All of these years in flawed creation, no one needs your idea anyway. Deep in the senses, the sparks of your mind, who will make something pure of it and ignite it out at night. I miss the days before push came to shove. I miss everyday love. I miss everyday love. I miss everyday love.
Mike and Anthony, Singing River, playing on the 22nd at Lovin Cup in the studio, playing live for us this morning. It's really nice. So you started out not doing sort of the Americana side of music. You were working at Abilene, you were saying, and something clicked.
Yeah, and I always listened. I mean, I was the guy who was listening to T-Bone Burnett, Johnny Cash. I loved all Dylan's Time Out of Mind post records.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe better than the earlier stuff. I mean, I'm sacrilegious in saying that, but honestly, that's how I felt about it. And I always loved Daniel Lanois, too, so I was aware of Neville Brothers, and I had a band called The Mercies that was named off of Oh Mercy. But that was an indie rock band, you know? And so, yeah, by the time I'm stage managing at Jazz Fest, I started in 2010, and I just put out a record called Mikey Jukebox, which is probably the thing that's the most popular for what I've done. But seeing Pokey Lafarge and just a whole bunch. I mean, I could go on John.
I was there for
John Paul White,
Oh, yeah.
Lyra Lynn, all these people. I just could go on and on. I'm having brain freeze right now, but something about it was like, this is where you're supposed to be. I was a Bowie Eno guy, right? Just for lack of a better. Oblique strategies all the way in, like full blown Eno. And I just woke up one day. I was like, dude, you're American. You know?
There
like,
you go.
I mean, I just,
What
the
the heck?
Anglophile drained out of me, and I just started using the stuff that I would write that sounded more like that. I started to understand. And then Anthony was just hanging out. I said to a friend, he was out to dinner with a friend in October of 19.
Yep.
So the pandemic really put an early shut on what we wanted to do. But I said, hey, tell Anthony I want to jam. And he was like, oh, he was over in 2 weeks, and we just started playing. It was like 94 again. Like the innocence was back in a way.
What were you doing at that point when Mikey called you?
Oh, just fiddling around, like playing with just some guitars here and there, like with different people, but nothing serious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you start with guitar too? Was it guitar your one instrument, or were you a trumpet player in fourth grade?
Oh no, it's always guitar, little piano,
Mm-hmm.
bass, but mainly guitar.
Yeah. You write too?
A
little bit.
Mostly on the like a melody guy. Melody, that's like my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's definitely with the words. Mike is, and I got some melodies, and that's my strength.
Yeah, he's got strong counterpoint arrangement ideas in the composition field, is what he adds. We joke around like we're the poor man's Petty and Campbell.
Right.
Like that's how we, like in one, I mean, the songs sound better without him, and, so it just really, it works. But the pandemic is where we started sharing files, and we really didn't get to test what the band was until about a year ago, and now we're starting to track live in a room. The whole original idea of the project was to cut records like the 40s and 50s.
Nice. Okay.
Live in the room, you get the take, no overdubs, no edits.
Yeah.
And we tried it at U of R with Steven Rossner, and we got some early results, so we know it can happen.
So those are out there waiting to be put on some sort of final version of something? Is it going to be a physical copy, or is it all going to be out there in the interwebs?
It'll be streaming first.
Yeah.
We just put out vinyl in November, so we put out a record.
Okay.
And did some PR and got some reviews and all that. But that's sort of what the show is the vinyl release show.
Lovin Cup on the 22nd. Singing River.
Yeah.
Do you have other people play with you as well at times, or?
Yeah, there's 8 of us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is a stripped down version.
Yes,
of the
this
band.
is Singing River.
So why don't you give a description of the band in its entirety?
Some people have said it was like,
the players.
Oh yeah, well we got Jeremy Stoner from Tegan and the Tweeds, and Tommy from Tegan and the Tweeds playing pedal steel, and then there's we have 2 horns. We have a trombonist and sax. That's Evan Dobbins, and Lisbeth Pilara.
You guys got heavy hitters here.
Yeah, and then and then we got Dr. Pete DeLoe on guitar. I don't know if you know Pete DeLoe, but he's been around playing forever. He's sort of like the band uncle. He keeps us in check. He keeps the band intonated.
Everybody needs a band uncle.
Yes, and is not afraid to just curse me out when I've gone too far for changing keys every week.
That song you guys just played, I could hear. I mean, now that you tell me what the band is made up of instrumentally. Boy, that song would be a killer song with all that stuff in there. I mean, I liked it like it was as a duo, but I can hear it with it produced with all that music behind it. Really it could be cool. Good show on the 22nd.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
At the Lovin Cup.
That is out on Spotify. That song, if you want to hear it.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
Everyday Love.
Everyday Love. It's Singing River.
Yeah.
How about another song?
Sure.
Yeah.
Which one? Undo Dylan?
Sure.
Want me to give you a little preface for this too?
Please do.
Yeah, so there's a song called I Thought I Heard Buddy Bolden Say.
I know that song.
You know that song?
Buddy Bolden, yeah.
Okay. So
I have a jug band background.
Oh, all right. Well, here we go. So I took this thing and sort of did a postmodern disaster to it. It was like I know when I wrote it, it was April of 22, and I just decided that sort of Dylan, Bolden invents the jazz, right? And then in my philosophical madness, I thought, well, Dylan invented modern music. To me.
Okay.
I mean, was there surrealism in music before him? Truly in the same way?
Boy, this is a deep conversation.
But that's what, I walk around thinking, it's, I'm not fit for society.
Roger Miller, he was pretty surreal.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Just kidding.
I don't know enough about him. I know who he is. But
right, I'll go with you.
Anyhow, so I thought, if you know Buddy Bolden well, there's open up the windows, let all the bad air out, right? The lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a verse about Judge Fogarty. You know that one?
We used to do it in our band.
Yeah, so
it was a long time ago.
Sometimes there's different versions, but ordinarily Judge Fogarty's a character in it, and he's about the lender's jail, sort of like throwing away, people who owe debt, debtor's jail. And then there's a character in the third verse of Frankie Duzin. He's sort of like the loan shark. So I swap out Dylan for Bolden, and use his own lyrics against them. In the first verse, I take a verse from Slow Train. Second verse, I take some lyrics from Murder Most Foul.
Oh, boy.
Then instead of Judge Fogerty, I use John Fogerty, Walk on the Water lyrics. And then instead of Frankie Doozen, I had a hard time. I wanted to get Sinatra. But I can't. How do you get that Frankie Sinatra? The phrasing wasn't right, so I ended up using Frankie Lane in Rawhide.
Okay.
And then
I can't wait to hear this song.
So for Open Up the Windows, Let All Bad Air Out for that Funky Butt verse, I wrote my own sort of gospel take, like a preacher verse, sort of. Open up the windows, let all the good souls out. So we'll see. All right. So
Singing River, their sort of release party on the 22nd at Lovin Cup.
And this is, I thought I heard Bob Dylan say. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I heard Bob Dylan say, in the home of the brave, Jefferson rolling in his grave. Up around the bend, there's a slow train. I thought I heard him say. I thought I heard old Dylan growl. Shut your mouth, said a wise old owl. Business is business and it's murder most foul. I thought I heard him shout.